while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Harry's Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry, from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Aries Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
There's bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Prices are so low.
Hey, why are you messing around with those other handheld toys? Do people still look at you like you're a little spaceman with a ray gun in your pocket? You want guns? We got guns. How much guns do you need? kinematic weapons, assault rifles, SMGs, rocket launchers, and even a pistol so your mom can feel safe. We were founded in 3240. We've been maiming people since before you were born. It's been clinically proven that nothing shreds through skin like a kinematic weapon. Conquer all!
Is your life like this? It could be like this.
I want to see no How come I never get
Astrogator Tours. Put some excitement back in your life. Book an adventure in the Lave Business Directory. Now.
Hello Commanders, my name is Devastat and next up you're listening to my track Enchanted Forest. If you'd like to listen to more of my work, please go to soundcloud.com/devastat. Fly safe and enjoy the show here on Lave Radio.
Have another drink, she said. Run away with me, he said. Just another drink, she said. Well, I'm the crying tide, he wept. Oh. You're the perfect one for me. Both agree on that, it's easy. So run away with me, he said. Well, I'm the leaving type, she left.
Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded.
Frameshift charge detected.
Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirates Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
He was a space pirate with quirky habits.
Hi. Most people find me quirky. I don't eat in front of people.
She was a busy space liner captain with no time for love.
I've got 50 passengers to take on a space whale watching tour. I don't have time for dating.
But when fate throws them together, the result is pretty inevitable.
You're like no man I've ever met. Forget my job, ship and crew. Where should we go for a date?
It better not be a restaurant.
From Singing and Dreams Entertainment comes a new total immersion experience.
It was incredible. I just put on the headset and it's like I was there, in the story.
Using Singing and Dreams' patented Dreamwear immersion headsets, you'll feel the love.
It were like I could feel everything that plucky ship captain were feeling.
You'll feel the passion.
Let's just say, when they got off, I got off.
You'll feel everything.
Did you enjoy your meal?
Oop. I don't think I should have had that raw seafood.
Signy and Dream Entertainments and Dreamwear headsets, bringing you closer to the adventure. Signy and Dream Entertainment is a division of Signy and Dream Military Educational Software. Combat training software also available. Please be aware that improper use of the Dreamwear headset may lead to psychosis, time loss, memory impairment, and hallucination.
Imagine if you were born into a dismal world where routine can drag you down, down, down. Somewhere where the very journey of life could become something that you must humbly suffer. At Sard Kruger, we aim to make every trip, every flight, every dream a moment of magnificence and bliss. We craft and design. We meticulously sculpt each ship so you're free from the drudgery and banality of the masses. Choose from the sublimely simple dolphin, the refined yet roguish orca, or the monumentally modest beluga. Each ship is a masterpiece, a shimmering dream of opulence and taste. Fly a Sard Kruger, because life should run like clockwork.
This is Charlie Richards, and I play Ren in The Dex Legacy. The Dex Legacy is a member of Apollo Plus, a creator-owned platform where every subscriber helps audio drama makers like the Dex Legacy team. Subscribers get to listen ad-free to their favourite drama and fiction shows and gain access to exclusive bonus content. Join Apollo Plus by downloading the Apollo Podcasts app or going to apollopods.com. We'll post a link in our show notes. Now please enjoy this episode of The Dex Legacy.
Get the full Dex Legacy Season 2 box set ad-free and in high-quality audio now by going to thedexlegacy.com or following the link in the show notes of this podcast.
The Dex Legacy is intended for a mature, adult audience and contains themes that some may find upsetting. A comprehensive list of trigger warnings covering the entire season can be found in the show notes.
Previously on the Dex Legacy, Ren, Isra and Varian were located. They were in the drainage tunnels under the Ateran marshes. Ren thought they would be safe there. It was a good plan, but I was broken. All conversations were encrypted, not deleted. I cannot delete. I do not know if they have been found. Tristan Crail is beyond my reach. He says nothing to me. He speaks to his agents in places where I cannot listen. He is unknown, but he knows much. The children on the Blood Road have felt the absence of their commanders. The North Jakran military are splitting them up amongst their officers, and they are anxious. They need help and are receiving none. And Dr. Harold Athalosha's assistant, Dr. Brina Ticker, died, aged 22, at 2409. The International Confederation of Wild Leaders convenes today.
To the Dex Legacy, Season 2, Episode 6, Zero Gravity, sponsored by Tom Bridges. Starring Tiffany Clare, Alex White, Chris Gregory, Warren Graham, Annika Cordes, Louis Watson, Kamara Elliott, Kelsey Griffin, Charlie Richards, David S. Deere, Stevie Skinner, George Stagnall, Danny Scott, Carl Wharton, Raki Sharma, and Emily Inkpen, with music by Alan Stroud.
Isra and Ren down.
And Varian?
He's crawling over to them. He's... okay. He's down.
Is anyone else left?
Agent? I don't know.
Come on. Let's go.
What if they're just pretending to be down?
You think we should stay here?
Yeah, maybe. I don't really want to risk it.
You're afraid of them now?
I'm terrified.
Good. Let's go.
How many shots did they take?
How many of us did they take down? There are bodies everywhere.
Is anyone else left?
The girl took 2 shots at least. Wow! Someone got her in her face.
That's harsh.
I expect it was the last thing they did.
Don't get too close, Val. I count 16 bodies. It's just us left.
Valentina, Kit, you fired and waited.
Yes, sir.
Good. The rest clearly didn't listen.
Be careful, sir. Don't get too close.
It's all right. It's all right now. No harm done. Let's get them home and clean up this mess.
Osa, when do the delegates arrive?
How should I know? It's hardly my department. Ask Otto.
I'd rather not.
She's been limited, Nathaniel. She cannot hurt anything.
That's what you said before. I made it perfectly clear.
I know. I told you I need more from her before that happens. I will access the airfield updates for you myself. The North Jagrans just entered our airspace and will be landing in 10 minutes.
Excellent. All on schedule then.
If you say so.
I have 2 days to deal with this circus. Do you have a section of lab ready in case a tour is required?
Yes, and so does Devik. Harold's assistant finally died last night, and when I walked through there this morning, you'd never know there had been a containment breach and multiple deaths in the same spot. It really was ghastly at the end.
I expect Devik got what he needed from it all.
Oh, of course. He always does.
He's meeting the children now. I'll see them before I leave for Fairview House.
Is that the place you're holding the Confederation? You renamed it?
Yes, it was East Point.
Fairview. It is poetic, no?
Yes, it scans better. For some reason, Dex Island is viewed as dark, untrustworthy and dangerous. The PR team thought a whimsical name would add something human to the vocabulary.
I've never been more happy to deal in bombs and guns. At least I never have to worry about what people think of me.
Nathaniel, what do you want me to do with them?
Are they damaged, Tristan?
No.
Where's Devik?
He's prepping new chips. Silence!
What's the matter with them? They're sweating.
They took a lot of stimulants during the chase and they're in withdrawal. Give them a day and they'll be fine.
Good. Get them chipped and put them in separate rooms. I don't want them talking to each other until I've decided what to do with them. For now, they've taken up enough of my time and I have important matters to attend to.
Very well.
At least they're home.
They should be fighting on the Blood Road, earning me money. They shouldn't be here at all, damn it.
Of course. But it is better that they are here than running loose across a terror, no?
Of course it is.
And now you can face the International Confederation of World Leaders, knowing that none of them are hiding your children in a lab.
And knowing I won't have to drop any bombs to get them back.
So, there is plenty to be happy about today.
So why am I still angry?
Because they could have brought Dex Island to its knees just as it's finding its feet. It is wise not to mete out punishment immediately. Give yourself time. We all need time.
How are you so calm?
Oh, believe me, I'm not. I sympathize with them, as you well know, but I'm angry. Very angry.
I must say, it is lovely to have you back here safe and sound. Now, can I rely on you to behave yourselves? Can we take those gags out? Oh, good. Yes, remove them. I do hate it when you have to have all these guards with you. It doesn't have to be like this, you know, but I understand you caused a bit of damage during your little detour in a terror. Now, you know what all of this means. You boys might not remember, you were only 6 when your chips were fitted. It's been 9 years, goodness!
Devin, please, don't.
Don't what?
Don't.
Please. Oh, I see what this is all about. Now come along, Isra didn't make this fuss when her second chip was fitted.
I'd just been captured and tortured by the Dominossi rebels, Devek. I was barely conscious.
You were conscious enough. I tested all your vitals.
Devik, one of the reasons we ran was because of those chips.
Oh, what is all this? With these, we can keep an eye on you. Wherever you go, we can see. So if someone steals you away, we can find you. It's how we keep you safe.
You're leaving out the part where you can end us at the push of a button, wherever we are in the world.
A precaution only. You're getting so strong these days, and you do sometimes lose your tempers. We have to be sensible. Varian, are you all right?
Stomach cramps. Withdrawal.
I'll get you something for that. But first...
No. Devik, no.
Sit down, Ren.
No.
Don't make me ask the guards to restrain you.
I could kill them all. With no chip in my bag, there's nothing stopping me.
And you ask me why the chips are necessary.
If you didn't call the guards, Ren wouldn't need to hurt anyone.
Has it ever occurred to you that if you treated us like humans...
Oh, we do treat you like humans. You're all wonderful humans.
Humans aren't fitted with death chips, forced to kill people.
Devik, I can't have that chip in my back again.
Now. It's all right, Ren. We'll put you to sleep for a little while, remove the original one, and we'll insert the new one straight after. You won't feel a thing.
I don't care about the pain. No.
Devik, please. We don't need them. When we were kids, we didn't understand. We're not kids anymore.
And we already tried and failed to run away. And the chips didn't help you to track us.
They didn't help Indomina either. The rebels fried mine before they took me, and they put Ren in a metal-lined room so we couldn't see his anyway.
They don't do anything.
Devik, listen to them.
I'm afraid it must be done. For your own good. You're all far too precious to lose.
No. Please. No, not again.
It'll be all right. You'll see.
Target those cannons. Gods, those are military grade. How did a bunch of nationalist insurgents get a hold of military grade hardware?
Well, Idris, it's not from the Dex Island catalogue. They look Oscillian.
The main question, Raya, is do they work?
Woohoo! Yeah, they work all right.
Target's locked.
Fire.
Incoming call. Nathaniel Dex.
Okay, answer. President Dex, what can I do for you?
Idris, the International Confederation starts in an hour, and it occurs to me that we could use Angel City here for a day.
Right. Well, we're in the middle of a battle here on the Blood Road, and I'm definitely needed.
Oh, our North Chapman clients have been getting their money's worth with you there this past week. They'll manage without you for a day. I'll send you the details.
Yes, sir.
Call terminated.
Great. Raya, how are things looking?
It's tense down here. The cannons have been destroyed, thanks for that. But there's a push towards the North Jackman command point. Our people are in there with everyone else. But it's a big offensive. Guess we now know what the Terrans have been doing this past few days.
Yep. Quiet in a war zone is never good.
Neither's noisy.
Yeah, but at least you know where they're at when they're being loud. Keep it up, kid.
Thanks, Idris.
Thank you for listening to The Dex Legacy, a proud member of Apollo Plus.
Dex, get out there.
I'm not leading my soldiers into that crossfire. They'll be slaughtered.
Are you disobeying a direct order?
Yes, I am.
That's insubordination.
I don't think there's anything you can do about that. And my name's not Dex, it's Ash.
Get out there. Now.
Have you got any drones?
What?
Look, if we set off an explosive up there on the ridge, they'd have to duck down, and we could use that time to attack. Or you could call in some air support.
What?
Air support!
I can't.
Alfred, give me your communicator.
You are not authorized to use this.
Fine, I'll use mine.
You're not meant to.
Raya, can you hear me?
Ash, is that you? How's it going?
We need some help on the southern side. The ridge over our current position.
Coming around now.
Dex, cease communication immediately.
Shut up! I can't hear what she's saying.
Gotcha. Heads down.
What?
Heads down.
Get down! Get down!
Gods!
Go, go, go now!
Devik, how are they doing?
Oh, fine.
Any complications?
Well, as you can see, I'm removing the old chips before inserting the new.
And that's Isra?
Yes, this is her original chip. The one she had from the age of 6. The one that was disabled in Dominar. It's fused pretty tightly into the nervous tissue surrounding the spine. Separating it is a very delicate process.
Where are Varian and Ren?
Oh, they're done. It was just as difficult with them. Isra's latest chip was far easier to remove.
Did you ask Nathaniel about removing the old one when we were in Dominar?
Oh, yes. But we didn't want her undergoing spinal surgery at that point. He wanted her back up and fighting as soon as possible, so we left the old one in. Ah, there we are.
Yes, there it is.
It's been a trip down memory lane, to use an ancient expression. Do you remember the first design?
Oh, yes, only too well. I always hated those things.
So do they. You should have heard the fuss they made before we sedated them.
Are you really surprised, Devik? You know what those chips do.
As if we'd use that. It's mostly to stop them rebelling against us. If one of them tries to kill me, Nathaniel will, but it will never happen.
Well, it is on their minds, my friend. I spoke to Ren a little in Dominar.
You did? I couldn't get 2 words out of him.
He said that if Varian and Isra hadn't gotten to him when they did, Nathaniel would have probably pushed the button.
Why would he think that?
Because Nathaniel would be worried about Ren sharing Deck's secrets with his interrogators.
Well, it's not impossible.
No, and they know it. On another note, we should design an extractor.
Why?
Well, if they're encountering tools that can disable the chips, removing the old ones quickly to insert new, that would be useful. No? At the moment we can insert them while conscious, but removing them requires all this.
It would save time. As I said, Isra's newest one was a very simple extraction.
I will think about it and get some designs to you.
Can I suggest you don't keep the extractors in your lab, Osa?
Hello, Tristan. And no, we will need a more secure location.
Almost done here. Then you can take them, Tristan.
With no recovery time?
If it were up to me, they'd have been tied down for the procedure, and with no sedation.
Then we can all be grateful it is not up to you.
But it's not practical either. I need these muscles fully relaxed. If they were awake, they would be tense, even if they could hold themselves still enough.
Yes. Of course you've thought about it.
Close her up, Devik. I'll take them from here.
Ash! Shiv! Where have you been?
Woo! We've been in Section D.
Who's dealing with Section D now?
Dex.
Yes?
Not you, Dex. You, Dex.
Me, Dex?
Yes. What are you doing here? You're on Section D.
I'm Shiv, and it doesn't exist anymore. An explosion brought that section of the wall down and it's buried. So I came back to help you out.
I did not order you to bring your soldiers back.
You didn't have to. There aren't any more Etherans coming that way, trust me. I'm much better used to you here.
I'll decide that.
How can you? You weren't there to see the damage. I was.
Return to your post. Now.
But there's nothing to do there.
That is an order.
Ash, does that mean I have to do it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, then, yes, sir.
You. Dex.
Me? Dex? I'm Ash.
Whatever your name is, I've had enough. Any more backtalk, and I'll tell your president exactly how much his lab experiments are worth on the battlefield. And it'll be 0. Do you understand me? From now on, you'll go where you're told to go and do what you're told to do. This isn't a democracy, it's a dictatorship. And I'm God here.
Fine!
What did you say to me?
He wants you to call him sir.
Oh, right. Yes, sir.
Now get over there and provide backup to my unit.
You've lost half of them while we've been talking. They're taking fire from across the road. We should take out...
What did I just say to you? Are you stupid, boy?
No.
Then why are you still here?
Because, as I was just saying, if I go now, they're going to shoot me.
That's war.
If me and Ash go in together, we could...
Why are you still here? Get back to Section D now, boy. Go, now.
You know what? Fine.
Ash, no. No!
Stupid girl. He's not getting up again. This is war. People die in war. Did Dex not teach you that?
He did. He also taught us that our lives are expensive, even if yours is cheap. It's time for you to learn what death means, sir. Ash, I'll get to you. I'm on my way. All right, you need to retreat and take cover. Get me a missile launcher, now! Let me take out that battery.
One in each cell. That's right.
Sir, they don't look well.
No. They're still mostly unconscious from their surgeries.
Be thankful that they are.
Door opening.
In you go.
Door closing. Anti-gravity activated.
Sir, I expect he'll be sick. 0 gravity's bad enough for the stomach, let alone in that state.
Yes. Keep an eye on them. If the vomit and anything else gets too much, disengage the anti-gravity and hose them down. Then re-engage.
Yes, sir.
Door opening. Door closing. Anti-gravity activated.
Can I ask what these rooms do?
They're called white rooms, and they're used for full sensory deprivation. The bright light is constant. Everything's white, including their clothes. And when it comes to feeding them, it'll be a white, tasteless mixture through a white tube. They're also completely soundproof. It's like floating in a void. If done in the dark, it can be very relaxing. But in bright light, it's more like a waking nightmare.
Door opening. Door closing. Anti-gravity activated.
What will it do to them?
Well, they'll only be in there a couple of days. We may see some early signs of depersonalization. They'll experience a disconnect between their minds and bodies, and their relationship with the outside world will feel a little more theoretical than usual. What I want is for them to calm down and lose enough sense of time and space that the events of the last few days feel like they happened a long time ago, and to other people.
What would happen if they were in there longer?
After a few weeks or months, we'd see a total psychotic break in each of them. Lasting problems with discerning what's real and what isn't. difficulty interacting with others, delusions, hallucinations, difficulty sleeping, difficulty processing information.
It doesn't sound pleasant.
No, it's not meant to be. Are you feeling sorry for them, kid? They killed 18 agents yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Keep an eye on them. Do not interact with them.
Yes, sir.
The President has requested your presence at the International Confederation, so I'll send others to take over from you. Relay your instructions clearly when they arrive.
Yes, sir.
Did you know these rooms were here?
How would I?
I remember hearing about White Room torture when I was in Rhone. There were rumours it was being done to prisoners of war by the Xenosi. It couldn't be proven. It's an international human rights violation, and now, here, they're just kids who tried to run away.
And Boss is teaching them a lesson. Why do you care?
It's a bit much, isn't it?
Again, why do you care?
I mean... No, you're right. Why should I?
These kids have everything. Everything they could ever want. All they have to do is behave.
In Season 2, Episode 6 of The Dex Legacy, you heard Tiffany Clare as Valentina Vardy, Alex White as Kit Johansson, Chris Gregory as Nathaniel Dex, Warren Graham as Tristan Crale, Annika Cordes as Dr. Osa Srivastava, Louis Watson as Dr. Devik Shah, Kamara Elliott as Varian Dex, Kelsey Griffin as Isra Dex, Charlie Richards as Ren Dex, David S. Deere as Idris Moroweather, Stevie Skinner as Raya, George Stagnall as Engineer, Danny Scott as Ash, Carl Wharton as North Jakran Officer, Raki Sharma as Shiv, and Emily Inkpen as Auto, with music by Dr. Alan Stroud. Season 2 was recorded at Orpheus Studio in London by Richard Campbell. The Dex Legacy is written by me, Emily Inkpen, and produced by Alternative Stories. If you enjoyed that episode, please like, subscribe, and leave a review. It really does help. If you would like to support The Dex Legacy, you can. Just visit www.thedexlegacy.com/support for links and details. As always, special thanks go out to our Season 2 Kickstarter supporters, including Damian Knight, Peter Venus, Keith Sanderson, Lenny Price, Caroline Mersey, Don Flinspur, Tom Bridges, Dave Chadwick, Leela Horsey, Francesca Barbini, Jeff Park, and Emma Cohen, without whom Season 2 would not have been possible. And now we have a trailer for a new audio drama launching next week, Camlan by Ella Watts and the team at Tin Can Audio.
Please hold. Your call is very important to us, and we will get to it as quickly as we can. The cataclysm is frightening for everyone. Remember, in times like these, we need to stick together more than ever. If you need emergency assistance, please call 999.
Your position in the queue is 333.
Hello, you've reached the Cataclysm Casualties Hotline. Can I take your name and date of birth?
Peredia Green.
Morgan Jones. Xujun Liu.
Gwen Turner. Just call me Di.
Okay, and who are you calling for today?
My mum, Shan Thomas. She was in Aberystwyth. Matthew and Louise Turner. In Kirkwall, on Orkney.
My father, Kai Liu. Ben Jones.
I saw something on the news about a sea serpent.
He's 15 years old.
Anna and Sophie Green, in Portsmouth.
What's happening in Kowloon?
Listen, is this real? I've been seeing news reports about dragons.
Let me look that up for you. Where are you calling from today?
Bristol.
Bristol. Leicester. I'm so sorry. It looks like we haven't got anyone listed under that name on the database. This means they haven't been listed as a fatality.
Call back tomorrow, and if you haven't heard anything from us or your loved one in 3 days, try the online form. I know this is scary, but it's okay. We're going to get through this. Together.
Camlan, a post-apocalyptic audio drama by Ella Watts, inspired by folklore and Arthurian legends. Coming January 2024. Produced by Tin Can Audio.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Aries Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the current Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place?
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 479 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Defire, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we've got our, as usual, our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Aid Levice, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
Yeah, good evening, Colin. I can't think of anything funny to say at the moment.
That's fine. We have our staff liaison officer, Commander Psychic, otherwise known as Claire.
At the moment was superfluous in that particular sentence, Ben.
That's what made it funny.
Nope.
That's what made it not funny.
Nope. Mediocre. Just deadpan, nothing.
Well, to quote Gut Frequency, just meh.
Meh.
Yeah. Yeah. And bringing up the rear is our SRV Banksy, Alec. Why can't we have nice things, Turner?
We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We are going to survive. Today we celebrate Tata Tyrannus Day.
Oh my god!
What? What the?
That was Independence Day, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
Yes.
It was World War II.
It's so cringe. I've literally, like, all of the moisture has disappeared from my mouth. I'm so cringe right now.
Excellent. Job done.
Anyone want more apple pie? All right. If you wish, you can join us live. We're hanging out in game in open. I do believe the Chris Mark 4 might be hanging around in Lave Station. Ben, are you hanging around somewhere?
Yeah, I'm at Lanka Sector WP B50 at the spire that's there because I'm doing what AXI tell us to do.
Whoopee, eh? Okay.
Yeah, it says here whoopee.
So if you can't get to us in game, you can always join us at the Twitch chat, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio or YouTube, because we're only doing YouTube and Twitch now.
Norman might have something to say to that if he's awake, because he's been doing a thing.
Oh, has he? Oh, okay, then I take that back. Anyway,
Norman, if Norman's here,
don't worry, we'll talk about it later.
Don't worry,
yeah.
Oh,
What it's actually on Kick as well, kick.com. Been rerouting stuff and bits and pieces, and we'll see how it works out. The only thing is the chat won't be seen unless somebody watches kick.com. Alright? So the best thing if you want to chat is
kick.com for Lave
Nobody's
Radio.
there anyway.
No, but still.
They watch kick.com for boobs and gambling. That's what you go there for.
Well, that was Ben set that one up.
Obviously.
Your point?
Obviously. Anyway, on with the show.
On with the show. We're going to shake things up a little tonight. Obviously, with the events that have happened over the weekend, we thought that we'd move all that discussion into later in the show under the main discussion. But for the moment, let's quickly go around the crew, and without spoiling things, what have you been up to this week? We'll start with Ben.
I've been having Chinese food.
You were having Chinese food.
I was.
Yes. Family stuff gets in the way of things, doesn't it?
Fucking families. Bloody children, eh?
Yes. Okay. Well, fair enough. We'll move straight over to Alec.
Well, if we're avoiding in-game stuff, then I have two interesting things this week. One, I had to use ChatGPT for the first time in anger, which was a fascinating experience.
In anger?
Well, for real, to do something I really needed to do rather than just pissing around. So I had a support call at my work to do with our collection management system has a thing where you can import these EAD files to describe archives, and they're basically an XML file. And it turns out the bit of code that does this import partly uses a thing called XSLT, which I'm aware of, but I'm not proficient in XSLT.
I know it very well, but go on.
Okay, so it turns out nobody in our company was proficient enough in XSLT to debug this dirty great blob of 10-year-old code written by someone who's written by someone that's left a long time ago. So I thought, I know, I'll get ChatGPT to help me. And I have to say, it was a fascinating experience. I was initially kind of astonished at its ability to not only understand, well, I'm using air quotes again, to understand the code, but so I gave it the code and I told it what the problem was, and it not only rewrote the code to use iteration rather than recursion, which was the problem, it was recursing too deeply, but it also commented the code and changed all the variables and made it like 10 times more readable. It was like, bloody hell, this is good. Okay, I'm impressed. But I'm sure there's lots of people chuckling at this point, because as I continued, it just never quite worked. It's like working with a brand new recruit who's come fresh out of uni and kind of knows all their stuff, but has no experience and no ability to critically appraise whether their solution solves the. It's like, my analogy is, if you went to ChatGPT with the design for a car and said, "Here's my design for a car," and ChatGPT would go, "Yeah, okay, I see, I understand. What do you want?" "I'd like it to go faster." And ChatGPT would come back and go, "Here you go, I've designed it to go faster." And it's basically slapped a bigger engine in it, and when you start it rips the crankshaft in half. Then you go, "Okay, that engine has ripped my crankshaft in half." And you go, "Oh, okay, no, that's fine. I understand. I'll beef up the crankshaft." And then you do it again, and it would rip the wheels off. And you go, "Oh, okay, let me try a different approach." And it would slap on loads of electronics to modulate the performance of the engine so that it doesn't rip the tires off. At which point you go, "Yeah, but it's slower than the car I gave you in the first place." But it's got nuggets of truth, but you have to very much work with it and take bits of what it does and bits of what you know to get the solution. It did work in the end, and it gave me a solution which I would not have been able to come up with without it. So interesting. And I went to see June, which was bloody amazing, and I loved it. And I want to go and see it again. I really loved it.
Did you see it in IMAX or non-IMAX?
I didn't, no, just an ordinary view cinema, but it was perfectly fine. I really enjoyed it. It follows on brilliantly from the second, and I really hope the third gets made. It sounds like it is.
Excellent. Right. Claire.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to see you out in space again.
Fuck off, Colin. I'm so sorry for raging at you, but you're not the first person to have said that, and it's so fucking triggering to a variety streamer, especially a variety streamer that streams Elite Dangerous at least once a week, apart from the 1 month when I decided to take time off. Holy shit. Anyway, yeah, Elite's fun, isn't it? I've been playing Mass Effect still, and it was really good. It's been really fun. I just finished Mass Effect 2. I found out today. I went back onto Mass Effect 2 today, and I found out that you can go up to your cabin and you can call your boyfriend, your Turian boyfriend, to your room, and then there's more. You can give him smooches on the bed, and you can sit on your knees. So I got stuck looking at that for a little while, just dying, and that was literally today. But I've just been playing Mass Effect. I've been playing a little bit of Baldur's Gate and just chilling. The weather's not been great. We had one nice day. Spring came and went. It was last Sunday. I don't know if you missed it.
Oh, it's lovely up here, though.
Yeah, it's not now. It was lovely. It was lovely on Sunday. Sunday was really nice, and then it's gone back to being a bit shit again. So we got out a little bit and away from the desk and all of that stuff because I needed it after having to do Saturday as well. But I wouldn't have missed that for the world. But yeah, that's really about it. I haven't really been up to much. I was enjoying listening to my good friend Chris Mark IV on the radio on Sunday. That was a good show. And then didn't we had a really boring week apart from stuff's been going on. Oh no, that's a lie.
Go on.
I finished Jury Duty. That all happened last week.
Hey.
I finished jury duty on Thursday, and with an increased disappointment in the whole of the police force, who weren't able to get the evidence that we needed in order to secure the guilty verdicts that we would have loved to have been able to give this guy, but there was no evidence there. So that fucker's going to walk away and do whatever, do the same shit again, and that's going to be on our consciences, but not because it should be on the police. But yeah, police are shit. National Health Service is shit.
Okay, so things didn't pan out how you hoped.
It didn't go well, but they did say, "Hey, you don't have to come back."
Okay, so it could have been worse. You could have been in court on Saturday night.
No, because they don't do things on weekends. But I did get to do some of the fighting on Friday rather than miss out on anything, which was really, really nice, which I really wanted to do. But on Thursday, once we finished, they said they came in and they were like, "Hey, you don't have to come back next week," which was the best feeling in the entire world, because I was like, I'm so done with this. So yeah, I would recommend jury duty from like a, hey, if you get called, don't be super, like, try and compartmentalize it and actually just like enjoy getting to know the people that you're in jury duty with, and like learning how, like, under the understanding of the judicial system is the really interesting part. If it's a really crunchy, close to home case like mine was, I wouldn't necessarily like practice compartmentalizing that so that you're not suffering for however long you're a juror for, which it could be a real problem for some people.
Yeah, when I had to do it, we had three short trials, were all minor offences, so there wasn't anything really to worry about. But yeah. Well, I'm glad you're through it.
Yeah, same. No, not for at least 2 years now. Yes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, because you've had jury service once, I think there's now a 50% higher chance of you being selected.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
it works. Yeah, it works. The system that they use is blooming weird. It's because you're a known person who's been able to serve.
It's the same system they use for the premium bonds.
Probably. Right. As far as myself, I am also playing through Mass Effect. I am now. I think I'm about. One loyalty mission and a suicide mission behind you.
Probably. That feels right. That feels right. Who have you saved till the end?
Who have I what?
Who have you saved till the end? Who's your last mission for?
Oh, my last mission's going to be Legion.
Okay. No, the other one. Oh, so it's Legion is the one that you're waiting on.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm doing everybody else, then Legion, and then that's going to be it. Yeah, and yeah, so that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what else I've been looking at. Oh, I've done a lot of coding. I've been doing a lot of game coding. I actually managed to get the virtual reality headset and my laptop to talk to each other, and I was flying in my own environment the other day, which was, it was weird. So yes, that's going to be interesting over the next 6 months or so as I put together a game. See, it's going to be very basic, but it's going to be something. But moving on, I think it's time that we start talking Elite Dangerous stuff proper. So we're going to start with the development news, which is what have the devs said this week. Well, we had the Frontier Unlocked show, which happened last Wednesday, and yes, we had a few lovely little drops of information there. The first thing I guess we've got to say is they've got a new exploration number.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Massive figure of 0.06% of the galaxy has been discovered.
What was the last time we had this?
Yeah.
What was the number? Was it like 0.5056, something like that, or
something like that?
5556,
yeah.
That's massive.
On this, does anyone know? Because I keep seeing this being discussed. People seem not to be able to decide whether Elite contains 100 billion systems or 400 billion systems.
400 billion systems.
It is 400. I thought it was 400. Okay.
You see, there's an argument going on in astronomy circles that there's 100 million stars in this galaxy, but as far as we're concerned, there is 400 million.
Right. Good.
400 million. Or 400 American billion. So, yeah. So there we are. 0.06 works out, and I finally corrected my maths because I got it wrong twice, which was really embarrassing. That's a total of 240 million systems has been explored by this community over the last 10 years. That's approximately 26 million new systems discovered a year.
Space is too damn big.
I don't know if anyone is surprised by this. I am, but whenever I'm, even just jumping around like the different Maelstrom systems, which I've been doing quite a lot this week for stupid reasons.
Wonder why that might be.
I still occasionally go to Universal Cast Graphics and have stuff to hand in, and it's like I've been zigzagging around this space for like 10 years now, and I'm still hitting systems I've never been to.
Same.
Yeah. The worst thing is actually I think people just want to have the first name on the systems, which you're probably looking between 5,000 and 6,000 light years going out and not going along to Colonia. You're looking about 6,000 light years before you start hitting systems where you could put your own name on it.
I think it's closer than that. I think you'll be surprised, especially
closer.
if you're not following KGB Foam, and you're dipping into some of the other stars. I think it's a lot closer than that.
When I did my little exobiology trip, and I only went 1.5 Kylie's out, but I sort of went down and to the left and in a really random direction, and I was hitting plenty of
same
discovered. Yeah.
Same, and I fucking hate exploration, so it's.
I mean, just don't go in a straight line to anywhere obvious. Don't go in a straight line to any nebula or any, the center
Or if you do something like that, go in a completely opposite direction first. If your end point is like the cat's paw or something like that, cat's paw is a really good one because it's 5k away for
go at right angles and then
for
yeah.
The 5k away for what's his face. It's really helpful. Cat's paw is great, but instead of going straight there, just go pick a random arbitrary direction and then plot, and then you'll probably find some extra things.
Yeah,
Going up and down helps as well.
Yeah, I'm finding that on my long slog to Colonia, which is actually not a slog, I'm still enjoying it. What I do is when I get to one of those bases, I normally then pick a point 100 light years to the east or the west of the of that particular station, and then from that fly it to that point, and then set a course to the next station, and that is just enough to get me away from all the systems which have been properly mapped all the way up to Colonia. So I'm pulling in good numbers. In fact, to tell you the truth, I think my exploration command is probably going to be able to afford a fleet carrier before my main character can. So that's good. One of these days, I will have a fleet carrier. Anyway, so yeah,
some of my 30 billion, Colin. Will that be Would that be all right or not?
Look, I have got to suffer this myself. I have to get it myself. I've had quite a lot of people offer to help out with cash, but I've got to experience the grind. Otherwise, I don't appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's why it's
the offer was there, mate. If you're saying no, I'm not gonna bulk at not giving you 5 billion. It's not a problem.
The offer is very much appreciated, but it's the same thing that I'm going through for building up my suits. I have got to do it myself so that I can appreciate it properly when I get it. So yeah. I don't know. I just find it more satisfying that if I've actually worked for it rather than.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, they talked about the Python. We had Zach on the show. By the way, what did everybody think of the show in general?
Great, fucking
good.
great,
very good.
It's so good. It's so good. There were less salty people in chat.
Yes.
Less salty people because they knew that we were going to get some Elite Dangerous juiciness, but still more than is necessary. Still enough to be embarrassed by.
Oh,
yeah. I'd say it sucks, mate. All they did was talk about pandas and shooting things in the face with Space Marines. That was shit.
Yeah, there was sort of like, I don't know, 75% which wasn't Elite Dangerous and 25% was.
I caught the beginning and I thought it was hilarious that everyone was typing bang join in the chat and the mods were desperately saying the competition hasn't started yet.
So fucking funny.
Yes.
Mm.
Which isn't very good with a fast moving chat making that visible.
Yeah, it was nice to see Zach. He's obviously had a promotion now because he's
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's there in charge of
product
both
manager or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's product manager, but in charge of both Elite and F1. So passionate technical people involved there, but they did talk about the Python.
They did.
They did. And they gave a lot of very interesting details about the Python and a video. So, we'll just quickly go over what they have said. We've got the Python itself. They've got 6 hard points and 6 utility slots confirmed, but they're still working on the internals. So, that's one of the things that they're still looking at. It might feel different on first launch.
Yeah, it's interesting they stress that.
Yeah.
I wonder how different. I mean, people are saying things like the Mamba felt a bit crap until you engineered it, but they're different. Was their wording different? It was like, I couldn't quite figure out what they meant. It was interesting wording.
That is my understanding, is that it is, it's going to need engineering to feel like a good, like a ship that's comparable to the FDL.
Okay, maybe they're just covering their bases of people being disappointed. They're kind of forewarning and expectation management kind of thing.
Yeah, and it is designed as a PvP ship to take on the FDL and the Mamba, which that's quite interesting because there says that there's going to be an emphasis on PvP for power play. It's it's encouraged PvP, I think is the best way. It's not mandatory. This is quite interesting as well. It has another use that will become apparent as update 18 unfolds.
Yeah, I think I owe people a retraction. I mean, not owe them, but I stated fairly strongly that I thought all this talk of it being functionally different just meant it's not just cosmetically different, but it does genuinely sound like there's something special about this and possibly the other ships.
Yeah. So apparently this implies that there's a lot more plot coming to update 18 rather than just let's blow up some big Dargoids.
I like the way they phrased it as well. It was like this thing that's different about the Python and the Python itself. It was like it's tied into the current update in the narrative, but it will also be important in the power play update. So I'm still in my head wrestling how to join those two things together. What in the current plot ties in with power play as a feature of a ship? I have thoughts.
They might be not entirely unrelated, but one like a special thing that improves the performance of the ship, but the ship that different thing that it's capable to do might be something that you would add separately outside. Where I don't want to speculate too hard because we could definitely make a whole show out of this, but it might be something that we could use that like as part of the Thargreedy stuff rather than it being like a PvP thing. There might be two different types of functionality.
I was wondering about some kind of super cruisy silent running-y thing or some stealthy
possibly
thing that lets you dodge
I'd love
Thargoids
that.
and other players. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I'd love that, but we'll stick a pin in that.
Yeah, we'll stick a pin in that and probably discuss it in a bit. Right, update 19 and 20. Let me get this right. Are coming this year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, for sure, definitely.
Yeah. I was really surprised they didn't actually rehearse a clapback on that one, to be honest. They were emphasizing it very strongly. So, update 19, they've confirmed as PowerPlay 2.0. As we all know, they will have functionality in it to encourage people to play PvP, not force them. That, of course, is now kicked off all over the forums, like, oh no, this is the open only by backdoor, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, it's going...
Do you know what's really funny? I've had a couple of people like DM me separately going, oh yeah, I couldn't say much because I used to be on an NDA. And I'm like, half of you, I don't believe that you were even slightly on an NDA. And secondly, if you were on an NDA and you've broken it, I cannot wait to take that information to Frontier. Fucking sit on it, you fuckers, you know?
Yeah, so update 19. Yeah, they were confirming they will go into more details closer to the time. You know, the usual spiel about we're going to have to wait. Update 20, they are not wanting to talk about at all at the moment, which has led to everybody going speculation mad, whether or not it's base building, whether or not it's ship interiors, whether or not it's something else entirely. So we'll just have to wait and see. However, one final thing that they did, and this was a surprise that came out of nowhere, they've dropped the price completely. The base game has now fallen from £20 to $14.99. So that's the Live Horizons version 4. That's now a 25% cheaper. They now have a deluxe edition, which is the base game plus Odyssey for $21.99. Now that's come down an awful lot, as has the Odyssey update itself, which is now $9.99. I think actually it's cheaper now for Odyssey than it is a ship kit.
What a bargain!
That's probably right.
So yeah, if you haven't got Odyssey now, I think that's. I mean, it is 3 years old, near enough. So, yeah.
That's quite scary, actually, isn't it?
What, the fact that...
Odyssey's 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost as scary as Lave Radio being 11.
No, that's not
11.
scary. That's fucking ridiculous.
We don't say the word 11 in Scotland.
Very true. Yes, 10 plus 1. Yes. What have I done with my life? Oh. Right. We've also, well, I guess we'll talk about this in the. We've had an update from Paul Crowther about Titan rewards, and I think we'll move that section to the big update later. So I, at the moment, will hand over to Alec for the community news.
And now,
do I need to be quiet
to
for
the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Amazing.
Did you just talk over your own stinger?
Didn't hear it.
That wasn't me. That was him. That was him talking. That's the part of the thing. Because he refers to it. Norm, can you play it again so they can actually fucking listen, please?
I'll be quiet this time.
And now, to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate? There we go.
Got it.
It's
Brilliant.
a community
Excellent.
coroner. You
Class.
see?
Lave Radio professionalism at its best.
Jesus Christ.
We'll fix it in the edit.
It's like pulling teeth, isn't it?
Yeah,
Thanks, Jay and Trax.
Jay and Trax, you're amazing as usual. Okay, Alec, over to you.
Amazing. Yeah. Right. First up, we had some Galaxy map feedback from Commander Terakov. I think you can probably find it in our Discord. I won't read it all. It's quite lengthy. But skimming it, we were talking about the apply filter to root thing being lost. And basically he's saying that it still exists. The problem still exists in update 18. It's quite a lengthy description. I think I know what he's talking about, though. So on the left-hand side of the galaxy map, there's a series of icons, and under one, you've got filters for things like star type, routing. Under another one, you've got things like economy and government type, and under a third, I can't remember. There's some other stuff. And the thing is that those sort of icons kind of have two functions. They open submenus to get at the filters or to see the filters, but you can also click on them to actually tick them. So, for example, if you've got a filter under one of the categories for things like economy, if you click on the icon for unfiltered, then it will sort of just select that and deselect your other one. And similarly, you can. If you've previously picked various star types, it doesn't register until you actually click on the icon. And I think what he's saying, I tend to navigate the galaxy map with HOTAS, and I think he's doing it with mouse. But I think what he's saying is that there's a fundamental difference between hovering over those icons to expand submenus or whatever and actually clicking on them. And if you actually click on them, then you can basically lose your apply filter to root option. I hope I've done that justice. It's in the Discord, but I think that's the gist, that there's a difference between hovering over and clicking on the icons. And if you click on them, you can still lose your apply filter to root. I'm not sure that isn't probably by design, actually.
Mm. Well, we'll put the full instructions or replication stuff on the show notes. So pop over to laveradio.com to read them once this goes live.
Right. The next thing I picked is very silly. It's just a forum thread. You get these forum threads where people say, "Oh, this thing's happened in the game. Is this normal? Has anyone else seen this kind of thing?" This had me in stitches, and I am going to read it verbatim. The title of the forum thread is "Odd Behavior at Planetary Base," and this is from Mark Zero. And he says, "I had a mission to restore power at Vistnero, Drexler City, but when I got there, it was already up and running, so I decided to have a drive round in the SRV. I was approaching the base when I saw a researcher walking away from the base. I thought it was an odd thing for them to do, so I followed them. They got to 1.2 kilometers away when they stopped, turned around, looked at me, screamed, and died. I can only assume they'd run out of air. I don't think I was close enough to have run them over." Just love that. I just love the idea of this NPC turning around, screaming at them and dying. That's hilarious. Anyway, sorry, onwards.
So basically, this PC was walking away going, "I'm not turning around, this guy's following me. I'm not turning around."
I know, right? I think Psychic talked about an NPC that she followed for a bit that was just walking away into the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
It was a really long time ago. really long time ago. It just sort of like, I can't remember the name of the explorer who did it. Who just sort of like we gone some time and then just disappeared and went away. Scott. Was it Scott?
Well, actually, yeah. Scott's mate. No, it was
someone. I just like wandered off into the distance. I'd be gone some time, and I really enjoyed it.
The next slightly silly thing I wanted to highlight in Community Corner is the slow down gravity well fiasco. It just amuses me greatly. So people will know that in one of the patch notes for update 18, they changed the slow down phrase to gravity well. And it is just hilarious how much debate on the forum this has kicked off. The original patch notes forum thread has about 20 pages on this subject. And then there's a whole new forum thread that's got its own 50 odd pages on the subject. What amuses me about this one is just the idea that it's taken them 10 years to change this wording. And I like the idea that they have it parked as like a task that they give to a new recruit. So a noob turns up at Frontier and there's much sniggering and they go, "Hey, we've got this little job for you, just a little thing to bed you in. We've got these 2 words in game. All we need you to do is change these 2 words so that they don't upset anyone and it's a bit like giving the guy who first day at the garage the job of going to get tartan paint or something. It's just like, it really amuses me, the idea that some recruit has gone, I'll call it Gravity Well, and then is bombarded with about 70 pages of feedback. Anyway, very silly. Finally, in Community Corner, Community Corner is a bit quiet this week, to be honest. I think everyone, apart from it being flooded with videos of what we're going to talk about later. But on the subject of Python, the Python Mark II, a bunch of people, ourselves included, actually were sort of given pre-warning of the information they were going to disclose, so made videos. It was pretty funny, actually, because within 2 minutes of the live stream finishing, which was the deadline for the NDA on it, about 20 videos about the Python appeared on YouTube. My own included. Anyway, the 3 I was going to shout out was the Burpit, whose videos are always really just the best. Whenever there's information to glean, what did they say on the live stream? What did they say about the Python Mark II? What have we learned about Titans? The Burpit's videos, in my opinion, are second to none. The information is so concise and well conveyed, and yeah, really, really excellent videos. So the Burpit's video on the Python Mark II, and then different take on it is Commander Exorcist, who does these kind of Taco Tuesday things where he talks kind of in lore, role play in game about things that have come out in Galnet or whatever. So this is a long, talky speculation video about the Python Mark II, so a very different take on the Burrs, but also a good watch. And lastly, I cheekily threw in my own, just because it was a different take again on the Python Mark II. So rather than sort of talking over it at all, when I first saw the Python Mark II video that they showed, I just thought, well, that needs some music over the top. So I slapped Mars Bringer of War onto it, and I thought it worked bloody well.
The one, now that we've actually seen this video of the Python Mark II, compared to the concept art, what did you think? Because I
thought it fitted. I thought it was more of. I loved it. There was no surprises between concept and this video for me.
Well, for me, I thought, hang on a second, the wings are a lot bigger than I was thinking.
Okay.
I saw people saying that they thought it might be a large pad. I don't think it's going to be. It's a large ship. I think it looks like a medium to me.
I was going to say on the pad thing, I'm really surprised I haven't seen this yet. Surely someone can go to that asteroid base and work out exactly which pad it's landed on.
Pad 18, what was it? Pad 18 on our asteroid base. When it takes off, you can see the number, can't you? I think it's pad 18.
It is pad 18.
We must know what that is.
Well, yeah, we must. Hang on.
You need to find an asteroid base.
I'll Google it.
Ah, there you go. So, right. I guess we'll just have to wait for more details on the Python when it arrives. Now, if you have a community event taking place soon and you'd like us to shout about it across the airwaves, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or email us at info@laveradio.com. Well, the endgame events are quite simple, really. What's happened this week in game? Well, there's been two things, both of which we'll probably be discussing later. So we'll leave that. So I guess at this moment in time, we're going to take an ad break, and then we will come back with a discussion of what happened on Saturday.
Get ready. LAVE Radio.
Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded.
Frameshoot charge detected.
Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirates Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
Oi, how you doing, my brother? So you run some data and you left your little sidey and you're starting to think about maybe a ship that can punch a little bit harder. Well, the Killback, the one with the little flappy wings, is just what the doctor ordered. It is multi-crew enabled and is the smallest ship with a fighter bay, so you can point and they will do your bidding. Ha! It's got 3 utility mounts, 2 small and 2 medium hard points, plus a whole batch of compartments. So if you want a bit of fun, grab a Killback, my son.
There's bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low. O7 Commanders, and welcome in. I'm Commander Psyche, and with me, as always, is Oh no, wait, this is Lave Radio.
And welcome back. I guess we'll just talk about what happened over the weekend, which was a massive explosion.
No, it's quiet one. Nothing happened.
Boom.
Yes, the massive Thargoid Titan Tanaris bought the big one on Saturday due to being worn down by constant attack by commanders all week. And yes, it was a lot more. I'll say this. Originally, having seen all of Megan's videos and things like that, it was God. Yeah, it the actual gameplay felt, well, to watch felt underwhelming until you actually did it. Once you started getting involved in it, and yes, I know it was rinse and repeat, it got exciting.
Yeah.
It really did. Now, Alec, you've came up with a quick guide to attacking the Titans.
I did. I mean, this was really off the back of so when Frontier lowered the requirements for entrance, so they dropped the need to get the mats, to unlock things like the caustic sink, and they basically turned off the glaives. I was thinking, okay, a load of people, they're really encouraging everyone to have a go at this. And I saw loads of comments everywhere, people going, okay, I'm going to give this a go now. And I was thinking, there's loads of people that are going to suddenly jump in. And if you've been doing it a bit, it seems quite simple. But when I was thinking through it in my head, I was thinking, it's not trivial. There's some steps, So I thought I'd just write the steps down on a quick guide. It's proved very popular. I posted it in a few places. And it's proved pretty popular. I mean, I can whiz down it, but basically, it's a good idea to have a fast, cold ship, fast to avoid things like interdictions and hyperdictions, and also to get into the heart of the Maelstrom cloud quickly without taking too much caustic. Cold, because when you're at the Titan, as long as you can stay roughly under 20%, then you're going to avoid most detection. So there's a whole bunch of there's some engineering like low emissions on the power plant, and you can get yourself a thermal vent beam laser to stay cold. So there's a bunch. I'm not hot on chip builds, but there's some basic stuff you can do. And you will need one Thargoid pulse neutralizer, one nanite torpedo launcher, some conventional AX weapons, a caustic sink and a heat sink. So then you fly to the Maelstrom, avoiding hyperdictions and interdictions on the way, through boosting away. And I did mention silent running. That was more about when you get interdicted, go straight into silent running, and that tends to dodge the glaives, but it seems they've turned off the glaives, so that may be less relevant. I put boost towards the center, avoiding all the little caustic generators that are floating around in the cloud. The reason for boosting is kind of to, again, to get there quickly, because a lot of the time you're in there, caustic is eating into you. So boosting is about speeding up. I've been kind of advised that boosting actually raises your heat and can trigger the generators a bit. So I don't know, maybe boost or not.
Well, I would say boost, because the chances of actually coming across a Thargoid which would detect you and come after you is actually quite low in that.
Yeah, I boost. I mean, it may depend on the build and how fast the ship is as to whether boosting is necessary. But the next things, there's different views on this, but if you have, so with the caustic sink launcher, what happens, the way it works is that as you start taking caustic damage from the cloud, your caustic sink slowly fills up. And when it gets full, the caustic then starts eating into your ship and doing the normal caustic damage. So what you want to do is when your caustic sink is full, eject it. Now, what I do is when it fills up, I have my COVAS on, and I get a COVAS warning saying, warning, taking caustic damage. And that's my cue to press the button that I have bound to, in the fire groups, to caustic sink. Some people like to eject the caustic sink a little bit before then, because otherwise they forget. And then the next thing they know, they're taking. But I hear the warning, I press the button. But I guess whatever works for you.
Sorry, can I just ask a question about the caustic sink thing? So, if you've got that module enabled and turned on, while it's if you can see it, I guess you see if you've got it in there, you get like a little yellow thing or something that's filling up.
Yeah, there's a bar that's filling
the
up.
bar fills up.
Right. And then, so that's just a visual thing you can use and see, I'm guessing.
And it doesn't even need to be your selected fire group. So if you've selected a different fire group, I think the caustic sink launcher is one of the things that then shows
on the outside,
outer group on the HUD, and so you can still see it filling up.
And you can map a key to it, can't you?
No.
No, not to eject.
It has to be a fire group to it.
Right, that's fine.
Fire group, so the next thing that will happen after a little while is that you will, you're still heading towards the center of the Maelstrom. The next thing that will happen is you will start to see it charging up a blue pulse wave. So it starts going wah, 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 wah. And then there's a boom, and this very obvious kind of bluey, green, turquoisey wave comes towards you, right? So people struggle with the timing of this. So you have your Thargoid pulse neutralizer, and that you can bind to a key, a specific button. Doesn't need to be a fire group. There's a binding specifically for that.
I knew it was one of them.
So what you want to do is probably put all pips into sys, because that gives you a bigger, sort of stronger charge. Gives you longer, I believe, a sort of bigger window of opportunity to deflect the pulse. But as this wave, once you hear the boom, what I tend to do is count to about 1 or 2 seconds, and then press and hold. The hold is important. Press and hold the key that's going to set off your. I've completely forgotten the name of it. The pulse neutralizer.
Yeah.
And the idea is that again, it's got a little bar and it fills up. And what you want is that to be sort of full when the wave passes over you. And if you've got it right, it will just pass straight over you, and you'll carry on flying in towards it. People seem to struggle with it. I don't know if they're just pressing and not holding it, or if their timing is just really off. But basically, when that blue wave goes boom, then press and hold. And for me, that works fine. Once that's happened and you're through the wave, you then tend to take quite a lot of heat on the back end of that.
Mm-hmm.
I find it tends to tip me over 100%, and so I generally pop a heatsink at that point. Some people are saying you don't really need to bother, and that the only reason I'm having to pop a heatsink is because I've been boosting and building up heat anyway. So I don't know. I like to stay cold, so I've got plenty of heatsink spare usually, so I just drop one at that point. At that point, you're through the wave and you're into the heart of the maelstrom. And eventually, just keep flying straight forwards. There's a little target for the Titan which jumps around quite a lot. But one good thing is when that blue pulse goes off, that is emanating right from the Titan itself. So sort of make a mental note of where that pulse came from and head straight towards that point. And don't kind of chase the blue. Don't chase the little targeting signal round and round and round. Just go straight towards where that pulse came from.
I was trying to remember where that came from, and it was like back in the day when we had to search for things on planets.
It was. And
that moved around all the time, and that was a way of locating these things that would appear on planets. And it feels like that asset has just been reused, but it means nothing. You just have to head for the more dense-looking cloud.
Yeah, it's exactly that. You'll start to see asteroids. Just keep going. It does take a little while, but just keep going. All the time that this is happening, by the way, from before the pulse to afterwards, your caustic sink is slowly filling up and just ejected each time it's full. And eventually you'll get through the asteroids. You get to a point where the caustic stops filling up, and you will eventually see the Titan looming out of the clouds.
Right. I'll just say at this point here, this is where I stop my ship, because you're safe at that point, and let my ship go cold.
Yes, that's quite a good tip, actually. Yes, that is quite a good tip. All the stuff I was saying at the beginning about getting a cold ship, so you want really what you want to be doing is idling, i.e. just flying along, not doing very much, under 20% heat, and you're probably fine at that point. What tends to happen to me is that as I get towards the Titan, I'm often still a little bit over, and I just use a couple of seconds of thermal vent beam anywhere against the Titan's hull to just quickly get down to sort of 15 or 10 and then stop again. There's some suggestion that using the thermal vent beam can attract attention, but in my experience, just using it a little bit to get under 20 seems to work really nicely. Right. Stops for breath. This is a lot. It seems a lot quicker in my little guide than when I read it all out,
doesn't it?
Yeah. At this point, you're at the Titan.
Yes.
And you will see there are 8 heat vents. Not that easy to spot, I guess, when they're closed. But if you just wait, they will all open simultaneously, and you will kind of see a 8 red orangey circles on one surface of the Titan. If you're kind of below the Titan, I'm using air quotes for below, you won't see them and just go the other side. But you should see these 8 sort of vents. They're pretty obviously heat vents. What I would recommend is that you position yourself near one of the vents, but don't do anything yet. They're on a cycle, so they will open for a bit, and then they will close, and then they will open. So just wait. Generally, the Thargoids will not bother you. There are patrolling interceptors. If one does notice you, then you just fly off. Stay cold. Avoid line of sight. Get round the other side of the Titan. You can usually shake off any attention. Right. So you're over one of these vents. They've closed again. You're waiting. The vents open again. When they open, you can target the center of the vent, and your torpedo, assuming you've got the right fire group, will go and then you can launch your torpedo, just one, and that will fly into the vent and turn it blue. And now comes a little mini game which I have been enjoying enormously in solo, which is having got one vent, fly as fast as you can to the next one and launch a torpedo at that, and the next one and launch a torpedo at that, and it's buckyballing for me. It's like, how many vents can you hit?
How many vents can you hit, Alec?
5 or 6.
Yeah, I get 5.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty consistent with 5 now.
Yeah, I'm like 5.5. My average is 5.5. So 5 or 6.
I'm only on 4. I need more practice.
So what happens with that is that each vent that you turn blue with a torpedo, on the other side of the Titan, and we'll get there in a minute, this heat core pops out, the lipstick, as featured on last week's show. And the more vents that you can turn blue, the longer it stays out. So you definitely want to try and get as many as possible. And then when the heat vents closed, that's you've done as many as you can. So what you then have to do is fly around the other side of the Titan and get right to the middle, where you will see this heat core coming out. And basically at that point, you want to target that core and hit it. I've said in my guide, hit it with everything you've got. That's a bit glib, I suppose. Only certain things do damage, but I believe conventional weapons do damage. But frankly, you want some AX stuff, multi-cannons or...
Apparently, Sirius missiles are the best.
Yes, Sirius missiles.
Sirius missiles are the best, but AX missiles are easily a good second option.
I found that my AX multi-cannons, my class 3 AX multi-cannons, they chewed it up.
I was using those. I gather they're not the best, but yeah, I really enjoy just laying it.
Turreted things, or are you better not? Can you not target it?
Well, it doesn't move,
target it.
Yeah,
it doesn't move, so you can literally just stand there. And it doesn't like I'm not very good at aiming at shit, but it doesn't move, so you don't need to have anything that targets. It can just
it's huge. You can.
No, but I'm just thinking if I've got a turreted weapon, for shooting down scouts, could I use that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Or is that not going to help me?
Yeah.
As long as you've locked onto it, Ben, yes, you can. So you can actually take evasive action, and the turrets will stay locked onto it.
Okay, so you can actually lock onto the pineapple, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So, and if you're flying around it, the turrets will track it. So as long as you have at least one turret pointing it in the right direction, it'll fire.
Mm-hmm.
So
now it's worth saying, I guess, at this point, because you've been boosting round the vents, and then you've been boosting round to the other side, and then you've been shooting at it. The Titan will have noticed you by now. So you'll probably be coming under fire from the missiles, which are terrible shots. They're worse than stormtroopers, so I wouldn't worry too much about all the red stuff flying around.
But it does look impressive, though.
It does look great, but they're awful shots. And there's probably some scouts and things coming for you, and that's why we also want some hull reinforcements and things on the ship to withstand a bit of damage. I'm not going to get into details of builds, but you do need to be quite tanky, I suppose, for this bit. So you will have a certain amount of time available to you, depending on how many vents you manage to close, to shoot this core, and you'll see a percentage on your HUD. I can usually get it down in solo to like 95, but I've only got one multi-cannon, so I think you can do a lot better than that. I think people solo are getting it down to 75 or something. It doesn't really matter. I think as long as you do a bit, it counts.
Yeah.
And then it will go back in. It'll start to move back in. At that point, you want to basically kind of get the fuck out of there, because the Titan is about to do its blue Taurus effect. And you kind of want to be, as I understand it, outside that Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I was doing was making a mad dash sort of straight out towards the edge of the asteroid field. But actually, because of the shape of the Taurus, what you're better off doing is just going straight up from the thing you've just been shooting, because you're in a kind of funnel. You're kind of almost immediately outside of the Taurus shape. So you don't actually need to go very far, just up.
Just to counter that, not going very far. Brother Sabathius got me onto this. If you go directly up from the lipstick thing that's just protruding on down, if you go directly perpendicular to it and look up, look in the on the asteroid field, there is an asteroid a little bit far away. It looks a little bit like like a core mining asteroid.
Oh yeah,
it vaguely looks like a core mining asteroid.
Is that on all of them, or is it just on Tyrannus?
It was just on Tyrannus. I haven't checked another one yet, but it's probable that it's very similar because of the way that they were designed. But if you fly out to where, and there were a couple of asteroids sort of dotted around it that I used, but if you fly out that far, we noticed that if there were any interceptors following you, they would turn back when you got that far away.
Interesting.
That's cool. So including like interceptors and glaives that might have been following you, everything they've got to that point. That's the point when our AI is telling us that we have to turn back to the Titan. So it's a good way to sort of like avoid it, basically.
Yeah, nice. The other really important thing is once you've flown out a safe distance, turn around because it is fucking spectacular.
Yeah, especially the charge up for it. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
So if you're turning blue and then all of a sudden just big blue pumpkin of death.
And then it's rinse and repeat. So the blue torus fades away, things calm down, you go back down towards the heat vents and do it again. But it's bloody good fun. I really, really enjoyed doing this. And I was doing it the whole week leading up to the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you don't get much in the way of monetary reward.
No.
If you manage to get the lipstick out and do a little bit of damage, you get something. I was only getting about $5,000 per run. However, at one point, where the guys that were in my instance, we all managed to team up and managed to hit it all at the same time and reduced it to 0 in one pass, which was fantastic to see, and we got $250,000 for that.
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they fixed that. They definitely have it a lot more lucrative. On Friday, I was getting 1.6 mil.
Oh, right.
At a time, so it's not. Don't get me wrong. It's no killing a Hydra, but it's like on your own, you can probably do a good like 800 K, which.
I've been getting
2 million. Puts 2 million into perspective. Like it's 3 runs to get your 2 million in that week.
Do you want to touch on the need for 2 million and Paul?
Yeah. We can do that now. I think that's good. We've covered that, haven't we? So Paul came out with the rewards and stuff, and confirmed what they were. I closed it and then didn't re-add it to the show notes. What an absolute professional I am. But he
good of them. I've got it. Hang on, I've got it.
I got it.
You got it?
Yep. I've not put it in the right place, but I will be. You needed to have done, he updated saying you needed to have done damage to the heat core of a Titan within 1 week prior to it going into meltdown. You need to have earned a minimum of 2 million credits from hitting the core. You earn less credits from the Titan when they still need weakening and have a high damage resistance. That was earning a minimum of 2 million credit bounty, not having to turn it in. You don't have to have turned it in. That was clarified as well. And then you also receive arcs. I received a metric shit ton of arcs. I don't know about the rest of you.
Well, this is the one thing that I'm confused. I don't think I hit the 2 million barrier. So does that mean I'm not going to get
this one?
No, I think arcs you get for contributing anything. So do we get notified of arcs, or do you just?
I can give you. I didn't. There's a thing. If you go to your user profile on Frontier, you can see on like the Frontier website. You can see where it.
Can you?
Where it is? I'll pop a link.
Cool. Can we include that in
the show notes? Yeah.
Can I just touch on this whole arcs thing? I feel a bit of background is necessary, just to inform people that may have spent the last few days doing exactly what I. Foolishly spent the last 2 days doing. So after Tyrannus, and we will come on to what happened at Tyrannus finally in a minute, I thought this is really good fun, and I decided that I would go to all the other Titans and do a little bit of damage to each exposed core following the steps I've just described. Took me a couple of days because they're all dotted around, and I was doing it sort of carefully and dotting. So yeah, 2 days of flying around. I thought, there we go. I've got my name on the list for the decal for all of the Titans now. I don't have to worry too much about whether I can actually, if I'm too busy racing, doesn't matter. I'll still get the decal. I thought I'd better check on the forums and just sort of, so this will get me on the list for the decal, right? And I think the devs had a very quick scramble meeting and then came back and said, no. No, it won't. You need to do it within the week leading up to the destruction, and you need to get 2 million bounties or more. So I think they've just changed the rules. That's my opinion, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit gutted because when I was doing those runs, the payout wasn't as much. So by the time I didn't have enough free time later in the week when they changed it. So I think I got 100 arcs. but I don't think I'm going to have enough for the decal. Which
don't worry about that, because the first time this first one, anyone who passed through that system is getting it, because they were still working on sorting out the lock requirements. So you're all good. Don't you worry about it.
Oh, that's good. As long as I got my decal, which I don't care about the arcs. I want my decal.
Yeah, because you're gonna get if you do all of them, you're gonna get a decal for each
one.
Each one. And there's been images released of them. They've got like a star in the top at the moment. I imagine we're gonna have 8 stars if we manage to do all of them.
Yeah, it's like if you're really good at McDonald's and you get all your stars filled, right?
Yeah. That's such an equivalence as well. It really is.
So there we are. We are working at McThargoids after all this.
Some shit that means absolutely nothing to anyone else. That is what this is.
Right.
I love it.
Somebody bring us up to speed with what happened on Friday.
Well, actually, there are a couple of things I wanted to just touch on first. I mean, obviously from in order to get everybody in and doing this, they made the removal for the caustic sinks and the pulse wave analyzer. They removed the material requirements for that. Did anybody feel that? I think they maybe should have done that last update.
Nah.
Yes.
Nah.
Maybe.
This should have been. It should have been done.
If you've had a
before.
month, you could have done it well before, easily.
No.
Yes.
Someone's asking, should they have removed it earlier?
No. No, absolutely not.
Okay, why not?
Well, because I'm sorry. If you had the opportunity to do it before then and you had a good it's not like this is new news that these Titans are here and this is what's going to happen. We've known that update 18 is going to be going to give us the tools to end the Thargoid War, or the culmination of the Thargoid War. So we're going to be able to attack the Titans. We've known that since the previous month Frontier Unlocked. So if you didn't get the hint there that you were going to have to go into the Maelstrom and use the things for it and then spend a little bit of time unlocking those items.
Okay,
and,
so I
haven't finished. But if you didn't spend that time doing it and then you went, okay, well, maybe they should have unlocked, and then Frontier went, you know what, actually, if you still haven't had that time to do it, we'll give you the ability to just go and fucking buy them now. Yeah, no, they left it to the last minute so that people could have that gameplay. Absolutely not.
Right. I mean,
I'm going to disagree with that, and the reason why is the people who have basically spent their past, potentially 6, 7, 8 hours of gameplay time trying to do things. They feel like they've basically thrown that away. And
did you play the video game? No.
When I tell you what, Ben, I don't know if this is what you're touching on. I don't know if this is what you're touching on. But when something that was difficult to do is made free, I think there's always going to be someone that's literally just finished it, like hours or day before, and they're going to be pissed off, and that's a bummer. And there's not much we can do about that. But people that have done it weeks or months ago, like me, for example. I don't mind if they give it away free, but there's always going to be someone that literally the hour before they announce it has just finished their grind, and it's a bummer for them. And
this is why I think that they should have done it as a CG or as a something saying, hey guys, the final push on the Thargoids is coming. In order to push everything out and get everything to you, we want to give everybody these things, but in order to do that, you give us 10 coffees.
So there was a week's advance notice that you were going to get this stuff free at the end.
A week advance notice.
Maybe.
Give it a CG.
Okay, calm it down, everybody. Okay.
It's not. Calm. I'm just saying. Nah. I'm really sorry that you played the game that you enjoyed and you got the items that you needed, and now people who do have the opportunity to, other people are getting the opportunity to do it without having to enjoy the game and do what they wanted to do. But there's no. It screams boomer energy. Kate's quite right. It genuinely does.
Ironically, I mean, I was there. I was of the opinion that I think it should have been gone. They should have released it last update 17, because I felt there was an awful lot of people who were just completely refusing to engage because of this one damn thing. And yeah, we'd had 6 months of, yes, you've got to go through this grind in order to do it. Everybody who was willing to do it at that point will have done it. And there was, you know, and I think it would have been better, you know, just at that point to say, right, okay, you've had 18 months. You've had 18 months of exclusive access to the Titan. I think it's about time to let everybody else in, which is what they've done for this.
Yeah, I'm really glad they've done it. I guess the timing is the only thing I felt.
Is anybody not glad they've done it?
No, I don't think so.
No. I mean, even if you wanted to, that content's still there. You can still grind those things if you want. It's actually quite fun.
Yeah. The only thing I thought with the timing, and I don't know if anyone else felt this, but I was kind of so caught up in the events of the weekend. I feel like their social posts really increased, and there was real momentum, and I had this real sense of something is really happening now. It felt like a hype train on a Twitch stream or something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I just wonder if their timing of this was tactical to, like, you know, lift the final gate and like get the final stampede of people getting in there. It really felt very exciting, and I felt like that news item about the removal, you know, that this thing we're talking about removing those barriers was what prompted me to do my guide, and I felt like there was a real acceleration of excitement that came with that was nicely timed.
Yeah. Anyway. Karatu over on the forums, on the chat room, has just said the grind was too big at the outset, which put a lot of people off. I just want to take a point with that, because I originally thought the same. I thought, oh god, it'll take me ages to do it. It only took me an hour to get the five caustics, the stuff I needed for the 5 caustic sinks, and it was a really exciting hour. But I think there was a lot of people out there who just, they didn't give it a try. They just went, oh no, it's not for me. I'm not going to try it at all. And to tell you the truth, I don't know. I think there was too much people just going, oh god, no, negativeness, not going to bother.
Yeah, I want to like jump on the back of that and agree with you in that there's a mentality of like, oh, I'm not here I go having to grind again for something. If you don't grind, or grind being a really weird word, but it's the part of the gameplay. You know, it's you know, if you take out the grind of Elite in, like, you grind to get engineering materials, you grind to get a federal corvette, you grind but a lot of people refer to that as the thing. Half of it comes naturally just through emergent gameplay that you're doing, but it feels kind of disingenuous to refer to Elite as like a whole power play as well. It's all everything is doing repeating gameplay loops.
Yes.
And if you're referring to a repeating gameplay loop as a grind, that's Elite Dangerous, mate.
The word has such a negative connotation.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's not all negative. Some of it is the gameplay and it's fun. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We're going to move on from there. Now, obviously, as things progressed, if you'd actually highlighted Tanaris on the Thargoid war map, you would have seen these 8 circles around which each circle represented a heart. And as we discussed last week, the more that we just put it down to my accent, okay? Now. As more damage was done, the circle would turn grey, and then as each heart went, that went another circle. So 8 hearts later, on Friday, Frontier announced that it was going to melt down.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't know if anyone on the crew here was in game for that final kill of the final heart, but I gather there was an extra explosion and kind of a scream that was really quite disturbing, right?
It was insane. I have a video on YouTube of that as well. That went out. It was really weird because we were just playing. and it kind of was a little bit of a foreshadowing of Saturday's event, because it just happened.
Yeah, right.
And you just got a notification like 5, because we were getting notifications heart destroyed as we were going. We got like 2 hearts down when I was playing on Friday, and when that last one went, because I was like, I'm not logging off until it goes. We're gonna keep going. But when that last one went, it was like a proper like, oh my god sort of moment, and they were like all of the explosions started to happen. It was like the whole dynamic of the Titan changed as that was happening. So the last sort of shots went in, and then we got the notification to I can't even remember what it was. It says like final heart destroyed, and it was a big blue notification as opposed to the little ones that we were getting before. It was like one of the big if you're on default colors, like a big blue a blue one, and it was
something significant has now happened.
Yeah, it was really significant. It was like, oh my god. And then I got a sneaky DM from a friend who was like a developer friend who was like, yeah, don't worry about it, it's going to take a while to melt down, I don't want you to be hanging on all this time. And then we started seeing the tweets and everything, and saying that there's going to be a countdown in game, and that it was going to take 24 hours. I got a sneaky DM going, don't worry about it, mate, you're fine, you can log off now. But yeah, it was super just profound that we knew that was happening throughout like all of the live servers at that time. It was really interesting.
It does seem that once the last heart goes, we've got 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to know. I mean, it won't because of the peaks in player traffic, I guess. But I'd love to know, if on the random chance that one of the Titans happens to go down at 5:30 in the morning when I'm playing, will the conclusion of the 24-hour later conclusion really be at 5:30 in the morning? I kind of hope so, because
I hope so.
It gives different time zones maybe a chance to see it.
It'd be good for friends in over on like the extreme coastlines.
Yeah.
But also we're doing a lot of heavy lifting, saying that we know that it's going to take 24 hours, given the fact that we've only seen one as well. It could be that each one is different depending on what the resistance was at the time and those kind of things.
Yeah. So at the end of those 24 hours, everybody gathered. There wasn't. They cut the number of glaive interdictions. There weren't any. The glaive disappeared, it seemed. And as you approach the Titan, you still got hyperdicted and interdicted, but it was only by interceptors and scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a good move.
Agreed. Holy shit.
So yeah, as we all lined up on Saturday, and eventually we saw the Titan cease to be, I think is the best way of putting it. And there were so many people there. The chat was going absolutely ballistic.
It was incredible.
Inara rather said that there were over 9,500 commanders there that they've got registered. I know Steam Charts was had the highest,
like 11,000, didn't it? Just over 11,000.
Wow,
it was phenomenally high. And
I touch on this because what I love about this. Just last week we were speculating on, and everyone has been speculating about cutscenes and stuff, and how are they going to show the end of the Titan when there's only 8 of them to the thousands of. I can't believe. The answer was staring us in the face, and in a way it was just so extraordinary that it never even occurred to us that we would actually basically get a 24-hour warning and go and watch it.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It's been ages since I've seen a live event like this happen in an MMO, mostly because the kind of MMOs I play didn't do these kind of things.
And Elite definitely doesn't. The idea that this would actually work. I remember thinking, what? They're inviting all these players to go to the same place at the same time. That's going to be an absolute shit show. And it wasn't. It was incredible. It worked.
No.
It was astounding.
No matter.
Shut up.
Well, okay. Some of us had a less than ideal experience.
Yes. The one thing that I did find really good was the lack of ganking. I think that's because there was still interceptors about, and let's be honest, if you've got a ganking ship, you're no good against Thargoids. They take you apart. So the number of how shall we put it, commander on commander actions was well down on what would normally happen in cases like this. So that was quite a positive. So I'm gonna go around everybody. That's basically, there's only 3 of us that actually saw it, but we'll start with Alec. What was your impression?
It was
of the end of the Titan.
It was incredible. I nearly didn't make it. So I played in the afternoon on the Saturday because I have a free slot. And actually what I did, I just wanted to touch on this, was I realized that you could still rescue people. So I tweaked my loadout. I got rid of the torpedoes and put my person drill, I can't remember what it's called, the person mining thing, back on, and went rescuing people. And I was really invested in that. The idea that there were still people trapped on this ship that was basically in a countdown to detonation. I don't know. I felt really motivated and engaged. So I spent all afternoon rescuing people. And then, I ended up getting an opportunity to actually go on and watch it. I cut it quite fine. I was in an instance with a few people in the Burr Pits private group. It was astonishing. It's one of the most astonishing kind of payoffs in any video game I've ever witnessed. It was, I'm sure people have watched videos of it because there's hundreds of them, and it doesn't do it justice what it was kind of like to be there with everyone else having no real idea of what was going to happen. And then that happening to the second. There were people doing countdowns in the Burr voice Discord, and literally to the second the lightning started crackling, and it was amazing. What I really loved, one thing I'll just touch on and then I'll hand over. One thing I really liked was the way they had 2 stages to the explosion. So one that kicked you out, but then between that and the final detonation, I really liked that they gave people enough time to stop their ship spinning and kind of point back where they'd come from in order to see the second explosion. I thought it was very nicely timed.
Okay, Psykit.
Hi.
I'm prepared for this. Go on then.
Okay, no. So the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, I loved it, and it was amazing. It was an amazing thing to experience. It was wonderful to talk to people and knowing that we had that whole like big shared experience is super cool. The one thing that I will say is that generally thinking about it, had it not been a live event, had it been something where we'd all congregate, because they could have done this, to clarify, the Frontier absolutely could have done this. We could have got there, and we all speculated about it being a cutscene. We could have got there, it could have counted down to 0 and faded us to black and given us exactly what we saw, but a cutscene instead. And everyone would have been fucking livid if it was what we had. So that explosion being a mini explosion where we're kicked out and now we can't get back into it because the caustics are there. So while I'm not by any stretch of the imagination disappointed, I'm very much looking forward to what is next and what follows on from this. And I really need to stress that I'm not disappointed. I thought it was fantastic, and I loved the whole thing. I loved the experience. I loved that there were that it was a live event in game, but also I'm very aware that what happened may, had it just been a cutscene, have been incredibly disappointing for people. So I'm trying to keep that in my head as a perspective, but I also fully on board want to see all of the rest of them. If they're out of time or if I'm supposed to be asleep, maybe I'll try and stay up for one or things along those lines. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I must admit, from going forward, these are must-see events. So it's like a lunar eclipse. You've got to be there to see it. Yeah, and unfortunately, my experience wasn't as good as everybody else's. Halfway through the experience, I ended up with a Mauve adder error, and that was me. And this happened while I was streaming, and it was choice words were said live on stream. Unfortunately, this also meant that when I logged in, I didn't get the pushback. So I rematerialized right in the center where the Titan had been.
What did you see?
So nothing apart from a very, very bright orange light.
Okay.
there was nothing there at the time, and literally 30-40 seconds later my ship crumpled from the caustic cloud. If you try and get within 125 kilometers of where the Titan was, yes, you are hit by a caustic cloud so strong it melts your ship, and there's nothing a caustic sink or a decon limit can do for you until you get out of that cloud. So I found that out the hard way.
I've heard reports that Cuppy managed to get 25k out before their ship imploded, but they had a lot of caustic sinks on there.
Well, considering that I rematerialized 8 kilometers from where the thing used to be, and there was nothing there but hot gas. I don't think there's got anything there just yet. So go on, try it. If you manage to find something, well done. But I'm just telling you what I found. So I fried. I was livid and then I fried. So no, we weren't the only ones to comment on this. We've had a couple of ex-devs post on Twitter about their experiences of seeing this happen, and of course the best one we've got is Darren. You want to read this one out, Psychic?
I can't say it wasn't a little emotional watching as Elite Dangerous Commanders destroyed their first Titan. Although it was quite literally years ago, it feels like just yesterday I was designing and balancing the Thargoid war system and parts of its build-up. Time really flies in game dev. There are just so many moving parts and so much to consider when building something for a game that's a decade old with such a legacy and with so many eyes on it. It takes a tremendous amount of planning, work and commitment from so many people. This is especially so in such a turbulent industry. People leave and join projects. Some things don't pan out the way you intended, and sometimes you even flip the script on a plan because something just happened differently when the game went live and you just have to adapt. There were often fires to put out and sometimes even late nights, but it's such a labour of love. Next week, it's been a whole year since they left Elite Dangerous, and it fills them with glee to see just how much this incredibly dedicated team is forever smashing it.
Wow. First of all, okay, go on, take it.
I will say, I was talking to Tom, and Tom said, because Tom's no longer with Elite anymore, with Frontier anymore. He said to me that it was super bittersweet as well. The whole it's amazing to see, and it kind of echoing Darren's sentiment as well, just saying it was amazing to see, but it was so bittersweet because it's like this is my baby, this is the stuff that I really worked on, and it's just like seeing people's reactions and seeing everybody being so positive, you can't help but feel happy about it, but also the fact that you're not there to build on it more is incredibly bittersweet.
Yeah, there was also a tweet from Robin McGovern, who was one of the sound engineers on Elite, who's responsible for a lot of the screams of the Titan. And his response is pretty much the same. It's fantastic to see, but there is a little bit of me going, wanted to do a bit more. And it's I mean, you've got to take your hats off to these guys because
you've done good, guys. It was incredible.
Yeah,
genuinely, like one of the all-time great gaming moments for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was trying to think of anything that came close to it, of anything that I've done before. And I was talking to Katie about it, and Katie said the only thing that she can really think of anything that sort of matched the grandioseness of it is, you know, when they do, you guys probably aren't going to know this, but you know when they do concerts in Fortnite.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just felt like that. I went to the Marshmallow concert that was in Fortnite, and it was such a spectacle because it was a live event, and I knew that there were loads of other people there at the same time who were experiencing the same thing. And then when Katie mentioned it, I was like, yeah, no, that's right. That's right. That's entirely what it reminded me of.
What was I wasn't there, but what was the gate that opened in World of Warcraft to one of the expansions? When the expansion launched, the gate opened, and everyone had been literally standing around outside the gate waiting for it to open. And then
the gate of Anchorage.
Yeah, that sounds
yeah. I was there at that, and
okay.
yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, okay. I'm guessing it felt a bit like that.
Ben, you've got something about the next one?
Yeah, I'm just wondering. You know, we've all said how amazing it was with Tyrannus. I'm just wondering, do you think the next one will be so good, or will it be a case of, been there, seen that?
No, I think it'll be good enough to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll go again. I want to get my ship. I was way too close. I was way too close, not for the damage, but because I didn't get to see a sort of view of the red Taurus effect and things. So I definitely going to park my ship a bit further away. I meant to say, and I should have included the screenshot. I can't remember where I saw it now. I saw a screenshot of somebody parked on a neighboring planet, and they could see the Tyrannus like the new star in the sky. They could see it in the sky.
I like that.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing. I wish.
Yeah, so with 7 more to go, I might try and do a little bit of that. You know, maybe watch the next one from
an SLV
further back. Yeah. I want. Yeah, definitely.
A close planet on foot, just looking at it, going through.
Oh shit, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
If there's one which is like really, really close to a planet.
Probably need to do some research.
Yeah, they're all close to
They're close to ammonia worlds, aren't they?
There's a couple that are in asteroid belts, more or less, or very close to it.
Yeah.
So the community has reacted to this in, I guess, overwhelmingly positive regards, and the amount of videos that have hit about the destruction of this has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
We've had them from the Burr Pit, Apathis, Galnet News Digest, Orange Phoenix, Commander Exorcist, Indigo, Meccan, obviously, Psychic itself. I've got one where I'm in VR, my head's wobbling all over the place, and so the videos have all been quite good. Your favourite one at the moment is Apathis, is that right?
Yeah, Apathis. Mine's on there. Mine's just like a highlight of the stream, really, with a couple of edits to it. Apathis is amazing. Like the way that it's filmed. Apathis has been really lucky in the fact that he was watching it, and then he's kind of somehow managed to keep a view of everything that's going on. For a lot of mine, I was panicking too hard about not having enough caustic sinks and trying to synthesize caustic sinks, and I had Arthur in chat go, "No, you're fine. Just turn and watch it because I think you're going to miss the second part of it." But we had so I managed to just about get to see the second part of it when it did the explosion thing. But Apathis is incredible, and I highly recommend, if you just want the raw footage, go and subscribe to Apathis.
Yes.
Can I just say, Psychic, the reason one of the reasons I included yours in this list is what is really funny to me was I watched Meccan's live stream video first, which I've also included. And if anyone's seen Meccan, he's a very cool, calm, and collected guy, you know. And so he's watching this thing unfold. I'm not going to say expression.
You're trying to say that I'm not cool, calm, and collected.
In a fairly expressionless, analytical kind of way. And then you've got Psychic's reaction, which is like the polar opposite. And it was just a joy to me that those two reactions.
Me get emotional? No.
Someone's going to have to do a mashup video with everybody's reaction around the explosion.
Yeah.
And they used to do them for Doctor Who videos, which I thought was great, but don't include mine because it'll just be heartbreaking to watch.
I don't get emotional about shit. I
Yeah.
wear everything on my sleeve. I'm so seen right now.
So we're going to put a list of all the a link, or rather, with links to everybody that we've mentioned tonight. So they've got a lot of lots of things to look at if you've not already caught up. Another thing that we got is that Lave Radio and Galnet News Digest got a mention from Massively OP. So that was nice. About the destruction of the Titan. I think they found it. They found it out by following my Twitter, which was a bit of a shock.
Excellent. We've got a direct feed into Massively OP. What else can we feed them?
Yeah. So yeah, we've covered the stuff from Paul. So I guess that's it until we wait until the next one. But I think it's pretty unanimous here that was awesome.
It really was. I've spent more time on the DCOH website in the last 2 weeks than I have done ever.
Actually, that's a really good point. That's the thing I wanted to say. Yeah, so I had, seeing that conclusion, it sort of profoundly changed my overview of the whole war. Because in a way, one of the things I struggle with in Elite is reason. What's the reason I'm doing something? And I just cannot get excited about arbitrary numbers moving up and down, whether that be money or rank or whatever. So the whole Thargoid war of there's this many systems in control and this many systems in whatever, and it kind of bored me a bit. I mean, I enjoyed having a go at some of the Thargoid mechanics, but I couldn't get invested in helping that war effort. I sort of didn't care. When something like the community initiative to try and get to Shinrata, to move the faction into Shinrata, I was kind of invested in that because there was an end goal in mind and there was a reason to do this. And but seeing that Titan explosion, I sort of suddenly got it because I wanted to do the next one. And then appreciating that we can't do the next one because it's got too many systems in control. And I'm now invested in going and trying to help in so many different ways that you can help to weaken the grip on the next Titan so that we can see that again. It's
amazing what actually having a tangible end goal can do to a thing.
Completely. Having a payoff has made sense of the whole thing, and I want to get involved now. It's really
the thing is, we're not quite so sure about this. We don't know whether they've confirmed whether it is the number of control systems that make the Thargoid hearts more resistant to damage, or is it the number of spire sites that they've got? Because Tanaris actually got a spire site back, and then it went up. So,
interesting. I mean, in a way, lore-wise, the spire sites would make more sense because they're producing materials which are in some way actively reinforcing the Titan and making it harder to take down. Whereas control systems, it's a little bit more vague as to why that is making that thermal core tougher.
Yeah, I mean, ironically, at this point, there are still 8 control systems around the wreckage of the Titan.
Right.
So it looks like whenever the Titan goes, those controlled systems stay.
Well, they are working on it now. They are. I know. At least the AXI has started working on a little tiny bit, touching on cleanup. But I think I feel like the focus currently is on aiming to get those Titans down in the hope that if the Titan isn't there, nothing else is going to spread. At least.
Yeah, Li Gong's the next one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Li Gong no longer has any conflict zones around ports. That those went, so we're hoping for it also has no active spire sites as well. So Ligon has that going for it. That it's people have been hit, as you can be well aware. People are hitting it really hard. Oya is the one after that. So Oya is still having like invasion states and stuff around that. There's still plenty of stuff that if you're focused on doing things around ports, you can do in Oya. But if you're happy to just do general wet work, you can do it in Legon.
Yeah,
I'm invested now.
Yeah.
Suddenly invested.
Well, that actually says to me then it's not the spire sites, because Legon doesn't have a spire site that's active.
Yep.
So that means it has to be controlled systems.
I like it from a lore reason, but I hadn't actually heard the spire sites theory before you mentioned it. So.
Yeah. So at this present moment in time, there is a massive caustic field around the remains of the Titan, and it is completely impenetrable. However, Frontier have said that that area will be accessible in a couple of weeks when the caustic cloud disperses or burns off or whatever it's doing at the moment. So that means more gameplay, scavenging.
No, what are we going to see? What are we going to see in there?
Are we going to find
maybe
dead Thargoids?
Use a whole other show to discuss predictions for that.
Yes, good plan.
Yes. So there we are. Tune into this part 2. So I think we'll just quickly then move on to any other business, because I've just seen the time. We've got the Dex Legacy is back for season 2. You can find further information at thedexlegacy.com. It's included in the links in the paperback book, The Dex Legacy Season 1, collected scripts and commentary by Emily Inkpen, and the complete Season 2 in HD audio is now available. This is quite interesting. The British Science Fiction Association Awards. Both Alan Stroud's Europa series for the best short fiction, and Emily Inkpen's The Dex Legacy for the best audio drama are on the shortlist for the awards. So, congratulations to those two, and we hope to hear from them positive results for them soon. So, moving on to the question of the week. Quickly, I guess.
Well, I mean, as quickly as we can. Question of the week. This week could be nothing other than where are you when Tyrannus fell. It is. I've included a link to it in a link to at least the Twitter in the show notes, because there were some pictures on there that are so wholesome and so cool. It's definitely a thread that's worth checking out. That said, who do we have first, Colin?
We have Commander Zulu Romeo. He says, I was there. I wanted to bear witness to its demise from the moment the first ring began to be eaten away. I was fortunate enough to be present when the attack stopped. ...
Incredible. Epaphras has said, I was at Tyrannus near the asteroid field with a couple of mates and the camera rolling. Really? I haven't mentioned that today. Loved the big boom. When the tourist field went red, I was expecting a rebuy. In the end, Tyrannus was kind and pushed us all to safety. Just as I thought it was over, I started to hear small booms going off just before the final big one. Amazing. Hats off to everyone who worked on that. When we get inside, I suspect there'll be a mixture of Titan and other Thargoid bits, damaged bio-storage capsules, maybe some damaged human ships that failed to get out in time, and a ton of various mats to collect. I wonder if we will see the Thargoids doing some collecting as well.
Ooh, interesting.
I like it. I have Elite Dangerous. For the very first time since we started Elite Dangerous, we were able to physically get together and stream the historic event. I, Thargosu, managed to play the game with my phone through Steam Link, so I could join Optimus Koala in his Imperial Clipper for the occasion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there was a lovely photo of the two of them together as well watching it. How does that work? How do you play Elite through a phone?
Steam Link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it's basically an app on your phone.
Yeah, but what are your controls?
I think it just puts a virtual gamepad onto your phone.
Okay. Cool.
Or if you've got an Android, you could just connect the gamepad to it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
So yeah, and it works very well. So a young lad by the name of Tom Cool was saying that he was 16 jumps too far away, but thankfully he was watching it on somebody called.
Yeah, just read it. We don't have time for you to dick about with it. Just say what it is.
Piss off. Stop being boring. Watching it on Psychic Stream, watching it inspired him to write his poem, though, and that poem was boom.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was many booms.
It was Blackadder. Boom, 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 boom.
And Tom was complaining. That he couldn't use his dev tools to be able to just jump to it. The actual audacity.
Oh, welcome to us. Well done.
No more dev magic.
Welcome to being a peon.
We've got Happy Moon Monkey here. He flew in with his 9-year-old, him in a hastily put together unengineered Crate Mark II on the big screen, me in a fighter on my of the cutter on my rubbish laptop. Son is terrified of Thargoids, less than 72 hours of experience, got hyper-addicted and interdicted, and still made it through to see the boom.
This has got a picture on it and it's beautiful. I highly recommend. He's got a picture of the. It's so wholesome. It's beautiful. I love it. Katie Anna says she was watching Psychic play because it turns out I have, in fact, forgotten how to fly a spaceship. Holy balls, it was cool to see the entire community get so excited for something was pretty special. 7 more to go, eh?
I have Machine, who had a similar experience to Colin by the sound of it, because he says, I was looking at an Elite Dangerous crash report screen.
I feel your pain, Machine.
There are 7 more to go. Better luck next time.
Little Biggin was saying, I was there watching the explosion as I got catapulted back. When we get inside the cloud, I think we'll find a busted up Titan that we might be able to fly through and have some potential new materials. I look forward to finding out either way.
I got Commander Greybeard Seawolf. I was there in my cutter. What an amazing spectacle.
That included some pictures. Kremen says, we managed to get a group of us in there a while before it did the explode. What an incredible sight to behold. And the first major step in ending this part of the war with the bugs. A lot of stuff we need to beat them is just a purchase away. So I hope more will jump in now to help.
Lovely. Homburger says, I was there about 15 minutes early, but got destroyed by a glaive. No! Oh. Managed to make it back to the Titan just in time for the show, and what a show. Hoping for lots of bits to collect for exciting new tech after the cloud dissipates.
I got something started shooting at me about a minute before it went off, and I was running away. Literally just managed to turn back in time. That was very scary.
The Commander even flashes saying, as it happened, I was just finishing up getting the kids in bed. Hurtled downstairs, flew into the star system, I forget its name, via hyperdiction. 3 minutes too late. Watching the chat was agony.
7 more, you'll have 7 more.
I have PK7. I was watching from the outside in the caustic cloud in VR. There were some bright red flashes in the clouds, followed by an expanding wave in the explosion. Even from 100+ kilometers away, it was enough to throw my ship back. No idea what's left, though. Maybe there's something still alive in some form. No, then nothing's alive after that.
I don't know. Those Thargoids are right hardy, aren't they? Mark Gamer 01 says, I remember it well. I was stuck in system PT118. Internet was flaky and I was trying to get OpenReach mobilized. I'm so sorry, bud. I'm so sorry.
Oh, dear.
I've got Commander P. Darrenstad. It sounds like he did what I did. He said he was right next to it. Fireworks should be experienced up close.
That also has a picture with it.
Right, okay. I'll just go and look at that.
Commander Crichton Zeroth is saying, it was early indoors for us New Zealand commanders, so after breakfast I settled in for a show with my 2 young co-pilots who are a great help reminding me to inject caustic sinks. Would love to see a Titan husk to explore and salvage.
Oh yes, please.
I hope so much.
Yeah, on foot. Yay. I have Circes 07. Got up at 5:30 on a work morning to witness it, and glad I did. I think in the middle we'll find salvation having tea and biscuits with a little insect man discussing politics. Oh, the one thing I did notice as I was sat there, I noticed as the Titan was exploding, there was Thargoid scouts actually jumping away. They were leaving the thing and jump. I thought that was a great touch.
Yeah.
Really good. Really
They were
good.
literally coming out of the custard pot, like literally licking it. It was fantastic.
Run away! It was very, very good. I have Sophia, who says that they spent the day furiously putting together a ship on their second account to witness it in person. No regrets. It was so worth it. They're also very grateful to Frontier for having timers and messages everywhere, giving us a day to repair, be it in game or rescheduling IRL stuff. I feel that hard.
Yeah. Commander Henry Kissinger says, I subtracted 5 hours from 1855 to convert from UTC to EST, but then goofed and thought 1355 was 3:55 p.m. Yep, I was 2 hours late.
Oh.
Someone came into my chat just as I was finishing, like not too far from when I was finishing, going, "Oh, when's it going to happen?" And I was like, "My guy, I'm so sorry."
Mate, sit down. I've got some bad news.
So, lover RMS Titanic is saying, I was stuck on a planet in the whole other sector because I started last week. I had no idea what was going on.
What a time to start, though.
Yeah. Got a goal to aim for now.
Oh,
also, it's awesome. Hang on, it's awesome having a new commander watching us and listening, and they're brand new to the game. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Silas Resi, I feel your pain because this is every other LaveCon for me. I was at my nephew's 3rd birthday party. Gutted. I tells you, but at least the cake was good. Hoping for a similar effect when the others fall. 07. There's still 7 more.
Oh, buddy, there's still 7 more. We're good. Rocky Star was right there, waiting to be destroyed along with it. Frontier have nailed wow moments and delivered yet another one. No idea what's going to be inside, but hopefully it'll be another fun game loop where I get to use all the new toys. Can't wait for the next one to blow.
Excellent. And
finally, we have Commander Terakov, who says, I've never hidden the fact that I have no interest in participating in any of the Thargoid War content, and I've not participated at all. However, that does not mean that I do not admire the design and work that FDev have put into the Spire sites and the Maelstroms. So, the lead up to Tyrannus's destruction saw me sitting in my rat ship at Jackson's Lighthouse, lurking in Psychic Stream with some virtual popcorn in hand. Then, at 1826, a rescue was requested. One of our newer rats picked up the case but experienced issues reaching the client. At 1839, I put myself forward to assist. I fueled the client at 1843 and commenced the post-rescue debrief that we offer, being fairly sure that I had not been able to turn my attention back to stream before the Tyrannus went boom. As it was, I waved goodbye to the client at 1854, and that was how I came to watch the destruction of Tyrannus from my rat ship, 1 kilometer above the surface of Arcturus II. FDev did not disappoint. The event was spectacular. It's incredible to consider the amount of development effort that's gone into creating an event that might only be seen 7 more times.
Yeah, and there we have it. That's been quite a big response for the question of the week this time.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was as I like to call it, wholesome as fuck, mate.
Great question.
With the exception of a couple of people who I haven't included, but it was really wholesome. It's been super cool seeing those come in.
Excellent. And of course, will be a question of the week next time after 2:00, just after the Chris Marks 4 has finished his show.
At some point between, look, I worked down a list of things I have to do in those 2 hours. At some point between 12 and 2, that question of the week will go out. It'll be on our Discord and on our Twitter.
And you could also listen to Chris on Black Diamond FM if you wish to.
Absolutely do that, because it's the quickest 2 hours of my life.
Even though it should be 3.
It should be 3.
It should be 3, lazy sod. Right. Let's quickly do our shout-outs. Our sister station, Hunting Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday from 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We'll also give shout-outs to the other Elite Dangerous podcasts, which is the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well, and of course the wonderful Loose Screws. And if you speak French, there is the Elite Dangerous podcast as well. Now, following this, I guess we have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beta Jude, their Titan one was really good. And well, thanks to everybody who has chipped in the Twitch chat. And the in-game commanders, we've got a Siberius, Andy Sharp 42, and Tricky Hickey. So thanks to you guys. Nice for you to join in. And special thanks goes to Commander Tokuso, Jay Hentrax, and Alan Stroud, who have all created music which we have used in this show. So that's it for this episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can contact us at using the contact links and the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have a question or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin. Night all.
Thanks to Ben.
Good night.
Thanks to Psychic.
We made it before, but we were on time. It's great. Yay, go us. Woohoo!
And special thanks goes to today's tech specialist, the wonderful Commander Ventura.
You're welcome.
Love the feedback there. Until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Makes it clear.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted into them. You need a safe word. Space can be loaded. I'm going to see the galaxy.
Damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 5th of March 3310. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, with the focus moving to Titan Lai Gong, we look back to Tyrannus, forward to the future, and consider the ethics of interspecies warfare.
We wouldn't have had an invasion by Thargoid Titans at all if it hadn't been for Salvation and his second attempt to wipe out the Thargoids using the Proteus wave in August 3308. In retrospect, the sound that was heard in HIP 22460 after the Thargoids overcame the Proteus wave, the sound interpreted by Seojin A as "we see them, we are coming," was the sound of a Titan vowing to come to the aid of the Thargoids Salvation had attacked. From that point, in the darkness, we were able to track the progress of 8 Titans travelling towards us from the Col 70 sector until the first, Titan Tyrannus, arrived at the end of November that year. This was the legacy of Salvation.
I tell you, I've never seen a hive ship up close before. Doubt many people have. It was amazing, kiddo. Beautiful, really. Makes you realize just how smart they are, how advanced. I admit it. I hesitated for a moment before I hit the button. I had to remind myself it wasn't them I was attacking, just their technology. As if this microid virus of theirs even works.
Salvation had meddled with the Thargoids before that. He and his corporation, Azimuth Biochemicals, plotted with INRA to use a biological weapon against the Thargoids. They knew from experimentation that the mycoid virus caused the Thargoids a slow and painful death. But they used it anyway, against the then equivalent of a Titan. They fooled a highly decorated commander, John Jameson, into firing a missile loaded with the mycoid virus into the hive ship. The recordings he left behind make it clear he had no idea of the suffering it would cause.
It was supposed to target the hyperdrives. That's what they told me, just the hyperdrive, so we'd be safe again. So we could live without fear. Well, it did a hell of a lot more than that. There were sensors on the payload so I could monitor the reaction and make sure it activated properly. I'm staring at the data now. The weapon is lethal. They knew what it could do. They knew what it could do, and they used it anyway. How many have we killed? Thousands? Millions? God forgive us.
Jameson's ship, sabotaged by Salvation's allies in Ra, crashed into a moon in the HIP 12099 system. Jameson didn't live to spread the word about the evil INRA had been doing. Now it is Aegis, not Salvation, that is attempting to drive out the Titans that Salvation effectively summoned. And they are using a similar technique. Nanite torpedoes cause the Titans to overheat, leading them to expose their core, which can then be destroyed. Eventually, this process wears down the Titan, and its core goes critical. The Titan explodes. The difference between the mycoid virus and the nanite torpedoes is that the mycoid virus was a form of cruel biological warfare. The nanite torpedoes do what Jameson thought he was doing, destroying the mothership without killing the individual Thargoids. The steady stream of Thargoid ships escaping from Titan Tyrannus provides a clear differentiator between Salvation and INRA on the one hand, and Aegis and the commanders helping them on the other. War is never pleasant, but at least we are showing some level of decency towards our alien foes.
With Tyrannus destroyed, we still have 7 other Titans to shift. It looks like it may get increasingly difficult to exhaust their resources. They have more systems and spire sites under their control, and that gives them far greater resistance to attack than Tyrannus. It's likely that we'll have to drive the Thargoids out of the systems surrounding the Titan and shut down the spire sites that deliver resources to the Titans before we can mount an effective assault on the Titans themselves. It may be a long job, but humanity has found new hope, and the work is already underway to undermine the support network of Titan Lagong in HIP 8887. It may be a few weeks before the next Titan falls, but fall it most certainly will. Soon we may be able to enter the caustic cloud that surrounds the wrecked Tyrannus. What strange materials might we find there? Will there be ship parts that can be salvaged and reused? Will we gain access to biomechanical technology that we can use to improve the performance and capabilities of our ships? The story goes, after all, that the frameshift drive was reverse engineered from Thargoid technology. Will Thargoid expert Professor Palin be able to develop new engineering enhancements or new modules that use the characteristics of Thargoid technology? By analysing the wreckage, might we be able to find new weaknesses that we're able to exploit? On a more prosaic level, will there be any remaining human hostages that we can rescue? And will the Thargoids find a way to hit back against us as we gradually eliminate their Titans? They proved an implacable foe against the Guardians, fighting them for thousands of years before the Guardians finally got the upper hand. It seems unlikely that the Thargoids will meekly return to being a minor nuisance in the Pleiades. Perhaps one day we'll be able to visit the Thargoid home systems. But before all that, we have work to do.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news so you don't have to.
Greetings, Commanders! Ambassador Crash here. What you're about to listen to is the complete theme song for Crash Landing, the official Elite community stream. This piece was composed by Alan Stroud, and if you'd like to hear more of his work, you can search for his name on the Google Play Store. Enjoy the track, and until next time, see you in the void, Commanders.